We will go ahead and get started. My name is Melinda Di Stasio, Rising 4L here at the Colleges of Law Ventura campus. So just to start off, how many of you guys would be comfortable if self-driving cars were all over the road tomorrow? How many of you would feel good about that? 1, 2, okay, not a lot. Maybe 3, Professor Fudrian, I saw that. So the concept of this technology to have self-driving cars, there's been a lot of talk about this for years and years and years. It hasn't happened yet though because people are not bought into the idea that this will be safe for society in general. So we're going to take this whole concept and kind of extrapolate it into what we're talking about today. So we've talked a little bit today about what AI technology is, the systems that are out there, how it can help us. So there's language processing, there's all these machines learning all of these things. There's contract review software. I don't know if you guys have seen demos of that. It's phenomenal. It pulls out all of the relevant information real quick. There's e-discovery tools. I'm in that class right now. It's fascinating. And predictive analytics. So there's a lot of really great tools that can help all of us as we are working in this field. A lot of benefits, we've talked about those today already, some. Increased efficiency and productivity by automating routine tasks. As Mr. Walters said, first-year associates aren't gonna get stuck in a windowless room, reviewing documents for 10 hours a day anymore. Enhanced accuracy in document review and legal research. Things can be cross-referenced at the click of a button. Great, saves everybody time. And all of this does result in cost savings for law firms and clients. Clients are always looking to save money, and law firms are always looking for a way to allocate resources effectively. However, just like self-driving cars, a lot of people are really nervous about this technology. So let's talk a little bit about where that comes from. In 2023, so just last year, in collaboration with the University of Queensland, KPMG in Australia led the world's first deep dive into trust and global attitudes towards AI in 17 countries. So this encompassed a lot of people, a lot of different environments. And what they found was that trust in AI has dropped to 53% over the past 5 years from a high of 61%. So trust in AI is actually trending downwards. So that was across all 17 countries that they surveyed. But talking about the United States in particular, it fell to 35% from 50%. So a lot of people are saying, hold up, we don't know if this is going to work the way people are telling us it's going to work. There is a profound lack of faith in our justice system as a whole. Only about 1/3 of Americans believe that anybody in any branch of government will do what is right most of the time or a great deal of the time. People have lost faith in our jury system. People are saying, hey, wait a second, is this the right way to do things? And I guess I can say this because I'm an elder millennial. Millennials and Gen Z, the majority of them believe that courts should make decisions based on public opinion. Now that is a big challenge to an independent judiciary, right? So people have a lot of their own ideas. The skepticism is coming from so much information, right? People will say that this generation growing up now and coming into adulthood is the most informed generation, but some would argue the least informed generation, right? Because anything you get, you can find a counter argument to it on TikTok. And that's where a lot of people are getting their news and forming their opinions now. So a lot of people are not on board with this yet. However, it's going to happen, right? The wheels are in motion. We can't stop it now. But what are people really worried about here? We've touched on some of this today. Accuracy and reliability. Hallucinations from a robot, that's pretty scary when you use that term, right? So people are very, very worried that it's just not going to be right. The work that's done is not going to be right, and then they will be out time, money, and possibly even, more life-changing situations in court cases, possibly involving custody or, things like that. So big stakes, and people are saying, hang on, we don't really believe that this is gonna be right. Ethical and privacy issues. Just like 2 days ago, I got an email from my health insurance saying, oh, just so you know, there's been a data breach. And your personal information is out there, but we're not really sure where, but we'll let you know what happens. We'll let you know when we find out. Scary stuff. What about legal claims? What about people's personal histories? And even more really, really difficult subjects that are brought up in court cases. I'm thinking particularly in family law. This can be devastating if it were released to the wrong hands in the wrong way. Now, and it's not just the public that's worried about this. Lawyers are worried about this too. Like, oh my God, what if it takes my job? And this was also talked about earlier with Mr. Walters, where he said, that won't happen. Lawyers will just become better and they'll be more efficient. However, the fear is out there. For someone who will be looking for legal employment in the next, 9 months or so, the idea that there isn't a ton of work, or there may not be a ton of work for beginning lawyers in the same way, that's a scary thought. Will people still be going on the same job trajectory? And then, of course, decision-making, as we saw in the case highlighted earlier, it can lead people down paths that are not so great. And while we have these stories, we have these things to help guide us into the right direction, there's still not enough education on what this is. All right. So, when we're talking about accuracy, reliability, and people saying, hey, wait a second, I don't really think the AI is going to do a good job. What are some things that we can do? Because as lawyers, we're going to have to sell an idea that we are still getting used to ourselves. So we become salespeople, in effect, for this type of system. So we can use some examples of some AI successes, and they are out there. There are many cases where AI has identified securities fraud, deceptive marketing practices, or inconsistent marketing practices. It's active in consumer protection, identifying defective products and data breaches. In employment law, it's seen successes in wage theft and discrimination claims. Healthcare, it's been used in defective medical devices, so claims for that, as well as pharmaceutical wrongdoings. And it's also been used in environmental pollution violation claims. So the successes are out there. It's starting to be used. And to point to that would be powerful, especially if you are working on a case in the same realm as some of these other successes. And then we can take a look at the fact that people are not perfect either. Right? There's always human error. If you take a look at the California bar and you see who's been disciplined for what, and you take a look at that, you will see very, very quickly that people are not perfect. So that's always something to remember. AI, there was a study by the American Bar Association where real people and AI were asked to review non-disclosure agreements and find the errors. And AI found 94% of the errors in the documents, whereas real human lawyers only found 85%. So there is evidence that AI does a great job. And then also, we know that this technology is constantly being improved. There's constantly being updates and new systems being written, new features being added. So that's something to give a little bit of hope. In terms of ethical and privacy considerations, Carlos did a great job of talking about the foundation and why that's so important. But many AI systems are designed to comply with regulations such as HIPAA. And there are encryption, data storage practices, multi-factor authentication, all of these things that go into protecting this data, and that's something to talk about to let people know as well, what safeguards are in place. Okay, looking to the future, because we know that it's very uncertain right now, and people, the jury, so this is a terrible joke, the jury is still out on how people are really going to latch on to this. So it really comes out that people are willing to trust AI with data, but not with human nuance. So, you know, it's about a half and half situation right now. Most people are still, though, uncomfortable about using AI for HR or people management. Anything that requires understanding of nuance and very specific, you know, little details, people are not quite ready yet. 2 in 5 people believe that AI will replace their jobs in their area of work, and that's not just in the legal industry, that's everywhere. People really are worried about this. But younger people, university educated managers are more trusting than the general public. So a lot of trends, a lot of new systems, a lot of new lingo coming out that everyone will have to learn. However, keeping an open mind, you know, looking to 1 or 2 people at your workplace to become trained and proficient in this, and then helping everyone else come up to task might be a good strategy. And the bottom line is that this is coming, whether we like it or not, whether we feel good about it or not. So we are the ones who are going to be the agents who will be able to be on the forefront. We are on the first crest of this wave to be able to say, yes, this really works. Yes, this can make life better. Yes, this can save money. And yes, this can ultimately enhance our profession.
Thank you.